So, you guys can look at me too. Welcome. This is April Frank's Hunt in the background. We're going to be talking to Tiffany Lenox Miller, the owner of the Body Wrap Salon in Oklahoma City, and also Pamela Springer, the founder and chief executive officer, creator extraordinaire of Global Skin. And also, we're going to be discussing Tiffany's new skincare line, Del Rio, and she's going to tell you the all-inspiring story behind that and where that came from. This is the voice of April Frank's Hunt of Women Recharged, and we are just excited to recap with these ladies from an awesome All About Face event last night.
Yes.
And so we just kind of want to start. Tiffany, can you just introduce yourself to the viewers?
Yes, I am Tiffany Lenox Miller, owner and operator and spa director of the Body Wrap Salon. It's a health and wellness spa that transitions lifestyles for men and women, and also that's through whole body, skin, wellness, mind, body, spirit.
Very good. So can you just share really quickly what inspired you to open the spa?
Well, I was actually a guest in a spa myself and realized how much it changed my life, and realized that I had a lot of people that needed the change as well. And so it's really evolved. And this past year I created a program, a lifestyle for myself, and now I'm just sharing that with my guests, and it's really helping to overcome their challenges from skin and body, weight loss. And so
very good, very good. And now, Miss Pamela, can you just give us some of the juice you gave last night?
Oh, I gotta give some of that juice.
It's never as good on camera as it is in real life, but we're gonna do the best we can.
Absolutely.
So, how did you get started? And
everything is all about just opening up your heart and let things come to you that is for you. I really never knew even what an esthetician was. I'd say Esther who. And I got involved because I had been in the beauty industry, but it was for plus size fashion. And I had a very well-rounded career. I was the first plus size model for Essence magazine, and I went on to do shows for Nordstrom's and all these department stores, and creating women that became whole, and it wasn't about their weight, it was about their spirit and their confidence. And in 1993, everything, like the economy now, there was a recession in California, and they stopped hiring me to do these shows for the department stores. And most of the TV that I was on, Oprah and all of Jenny Jones and all of them, they had started that reality type TV, and the Jerry Springer came into fruition.
The crazy money.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't about us fat broads anymore. It was about, my mom's going with my boyfriend kind of thing. You know what I mean? Right. So they kicked me to the curb, and I had a show on QVC called Full Dimensions, and they relocated to Wisconsin. So just a whole lot of stuff. And I was fortunate that a young lady had worked with a skincare company, and it was a black skincare company, and some of the audience might remember Edgar Morris. And Edgar Morris was a visionary, and he had Dionne Warwick and Lynn Whitfield, all your black celebrities touting his skincare, and he was on BT doing infomercials and all. And so they asked me to come on board as a national training director. And I knew nothing about skincare, and that was a little weird. But when I look back, I realized the connections I had with TV and all of that, and that was really the motivation. So he trained me, but I'm someone that I don't feel comfortable unless I know what you're telling me is the truth, or the way that I may see it as the truth. And Mr. Morris was excellent, and we didn't have the internet, and I couldn't Google, you can tell me what salicylic was, and I'd have to take it because we didn't have all these little perks that we have today. But anyway, to make a long story short, I decided in '94 to go to school and become an esthetician, and graduated in that May in '95. Now, my blessing was, well, for me, I knew I wanted to change skin because Mr. Mars's product was Corrective. And I saw such phenomenal results with the skin of color because we do have a lot of issues with the skin of color.
And can you just define skin of color?
Okay, skin of color is 80% of the world's population. And when we say ethnic, everyone kind of thinks black. That is not. There's so many ethnic groups. The only person that is not a skin of color is a European skin. But other than that, the rest of the world is. That's your Asians, your Hispanics, Mediterraneans, your Italians, your Middle Easterns.
Yeah.
So when you look at the bigger spectrum, we rule.
Yeah.
But the industry targets only this 20%,
Right.
whether it's skincare or beauty. We're just now seeing our images on TV because this is a market. They're trying to capture our market. So with this, I had graduated from an Aveda school, so they were showing you how to make people feel good with essential oils and all of that. And I knew that wasn't where I wanted to go. So I was very blessed to meet African American a dermatologist who also was a professor at a medical school and taught ethnodermatology. And I shadowed her for 9 months. I'd come in 3 days a week and shadowed her. So everything I learned, plus with Mr. Mars, the combination, it allowed me to start training. So a lot of your aesthetic books, and they would have me as a reviewer if it was something to do with ethnic skin. I began writing articles for the trade magazines and really getting popular as a person that understood the skin of color. So now I was kind of bored. I had an aesthetic school, and it was running and making me a lot of money. People were coming from all over the world to go to my school. So in 2009, I decided to dabble into a product line that focused on skin of color.
And the name of the product line?
It's called Global Skin Solutions. And from there, I was just dabbling and doing a lot of research. And finally, around 2010, 2011, I gave my product line to this dermatologist, Dr. Tony Stockton, in fact, is her name. And she took the product for 6 months and did a trial study. So I did get endorsed. And so it's dermatology tested and recommended. And that was the blessing. Now I felt confident to put it out on the market because I am not a dermatologist, I'm an esthetician. So it gave me that vehicle to open up the door. So now I'm basically working with people that now people are realizing we have a disposable income. Like I mentioned last night, in 2013, we, people of color, African Americans really, went to $1 trillion in buying beauty products. We buy 5 times more beauty products than any other market. So we have the richest skin. We have skin that everyone's trying to emulate, but unfortunately we don't understand our skin because there's never been skincare specifically. It's hair care. Our whole life is about our hair, and so people have been spending thousands of dollars on hair care products and not skincare, and the richness of our skin has gone to the side. So I'm here to get everyone out of that foundation. I want you to enhance your eyes and your cheeks or lips, but I want that natural glow that radiates, and that
without makeup.
Without makeup, and we tend to cover up our beauty. And to me, you're not authentic because you're covering up the most beautiful part of who you are. So that's my whole.
Very good.
Thank you.
Now, how did you hook up with this one over here? Tiffany, how did that?
I stalked her.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, we were kind of going through the timeline, and I looked through a picture, and I remember going to the aesthetic show prior to taking my team, and she actually had met the whole team. But by then, I had already started to build really a relationship there, not as strong because I wanted to learn more. And I purchased product. I sat in the class and I was just sitting there like in awe. And
you dubbed her the Oprah of...
Oh yeah, I dubbed her the Oprah of skincare. I mean, like, because of global skin, because it was needed. I'm blended culture. And I always often wonder why certain products didn't work on my skin, or why it was too acidic, or it would break me out. Not break me out like after it, exfoliate. It was harsh. I mean, even microderm is very sensitive to my skin. So I'm like, something is wrong. But when I took the advanced class and I got the certification for that, it helped me understand that I had a little more like French in me.
Absolutely.
And my grandfather is Irish and German, and my dad's side is like French and is Latin, and so all these different things. Now I understand. So now when I look at the back of products, I'm like, wow, I can't have this, I can't have that. I can't do a tradition. It takes me a while to prepare my skin for even just sometimes an enzyme, because it can scar. So I'm learning that, and so now when I look at skin and analyze, just her knowledge has taught me to even become a better esthetician for all skin.
Absolutely.
Not just global skin, but all skin, because I have a very diverse clientele. But what I really realized was there was a missing link for global skin, and that was my Asian clients, that was my Latin, it was mixed Latin in my Malaysian black, my Vietnamese black.
There's no one size fits all.
No. And it was like, okay, so now I understand it. So our consult is very, very detailed, and she taught me that. Yeah. I mean, it's like an hour consult.
Well, and two, I think your audience and your clients and would-be clients can feel comfortable in knowing that in the whole spectrum, not just global skin, but everyone can be comfortable in understanding that you care that much to make sure that the correct products are being used on everyone's face, because we're all different.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that's a good leading factor. Now, just to lead into some of the technicalities, because you started to use some words that we don't know. When you talk about global skin and the care, what are some of the main issues that come up for people that they're dealing with right now that would be watching?
Well, number one is hyperpigmentation, which is the dark spots, discoloration, uneven tones. And we're known to have all of this as we age. A person of color, the skin looks dull. It's lacked the luminosity of the skin.
Which the luminosity means
the glow.
The glow.
Yeah, the glow of the skin, because we don't exfoliate, we do not use the right products. Sometimes it's a buildup of those dead cells. It's environmental, the sun, they're not wearing their sunscreen. And so as a result, this is when they want to put on the makeup, because they're looking for that even a glow, and it's really all underneath waiting to come out. So it's, like last night I mentioned, you need a partner when it comes to skin of color, because you need someone that can tell you exactly what your needs are. You may have dry skin, but really your skin isn't dry. It's because of the environment. It's what medication you might be taking, what you're eating. And when you see a licensed professional like Tiffany, she'll go over all of that, and then she customizes your home care management products. Most products on the market for years is anti-aging. Okay, do we age? Yes. But those products, anti-aging means fine lines and wrinkles. Do we get fine lines and wrinkles? No. If anything, our age is shown by the loss of fat and volume, but we're not wrinkled and, looking like a raisin. So we don't understand that. We keep buying this product.
Well, buying it because it's just saying.
And
look great, shine.
Exactly. And then there's, of course, that 20-year-old, and we think we're going to look like her, I guess. We keep seeing this image, you know. And so, again, what I have found so interesting is that it's an anti-aging product, and now they're promoting it for all ethnicities.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Before, it was really formulated for Caucasian. They haven't changed the formula.
They haven't changed it yet.
But now it's for all ethnicities. So it's all a marketing ploy. But the beautiful thing about today, we do have the internet.
Yes.
And I think we all need to take responsibility for the knowledge and research and become informed consumers.
Yeah.
And not let that TV dictate what is really not true and make it our own.
Yeah.
So I'm really
it's
excited.
with everything. I mean, we have medication. People are diagnosing themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, when it's not properly being done, not looking at the whole picture. And
exactly.
so, you know, with the spa and with me and the consults and what I learned from Pamela is that like you said, I'm in Oklahoma, so what someone is doing in California with ethnic skin is going to be different than what I do here in Oklahoma. And, you know, we clear up the skin, and then we may have snow one day and 80 degrees the next, and they're like, oh my God, I'm breaking out, what is going on, is it the product? And I'm like, no, it's called environmental damage, and one of the treatments that we do is called a remedy treatment. We created it just for this environment because it goes back in to balance the skin after we've had tornadoes, after we've had the change in elements depending on what's going on around us. And so I educate my guests so that way they are informed no matter what. And I'm like, go Google it. I'm telling you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, and so they come back, I was like, wait a minute, she knew what she was talking about. So if I'm only 20%, they're 80% because they spend most of their time with their skin. And so, you know, my thing is to clear up the skin, and it doesn't have to be acne. It doesn't have to be like really bad skin. It could just be balancing the skin to a healthy state, so you don't have to put on all that makeup. And you know, just even informing the makeup artist about putting makeup on skin, and letting them know how to treat the skin or give them information on what they're doing. So.
You know, something you said that one of you all mentioned last night for the people who are watching was. In reference to something about what we put in our bodies shows up on our face.
Absolutely.
And
our skin is our elimination system.
Yes.
And dermatologists read the skin because those issues that are happening inside eventually come out. And
I think people want to avoid that. I think they just want to come to the esthetician and then to fix their face, or the dermatologist, and then not do anything at home. So can you just talk about, Tiffany, what you share with people in reference to coming in, because it's mostly what they're going to be doing at home.
Right. Well, our whole program is lifestyle change. So, I mean, when someone comes in and talk about their skin, the questions that I ask them, they're like, what does this have to do with, you know, my skin? It has everything to do with it, because I actually map their skin out.
What are some of the questions, for example?
You know, I'm breaking out in this area. It just keeps breaking out. Okay, well, this is your hormonal zone. You know, if their digestive system bad, if their skin is oily, they're not putting any moisture, so the skin is needing moisture. So I look at their diet. I have a fitness instructor who was taking a lot of protein shakes to help for her energy when she's working out or training. Well, she was doing all these different things, going to a dermatologist, getting all these laser treatments. I'm like, stop. And I'm helping her through it. So I started researching the makeup, researching the brushes, researching all these different things. Come to find out, it was the whey and soy that was inside that was feeding the acne breakout, because she really didn't have acne, was just only in an area. And when she switched and cleansed, it went away. It healed it. So we were trying to, she was like, I need a pill, I need this, I need that. And I said, wait a minute, it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
And I had to stop and research. I've even had to go into chemistry. And that wasn't my strength, but I've had to do that on several clients. And it seems like the more and more that I'm really focused, I'm getting more people that have more problems than I even thought. So it's educating me. I mean, I send pictures to you. Can you tell me?
Isn't it, just for an example, can you just hold this up? I mean, isn't it just life-changing for people, you know, some of the issues that people have had and have gone through the regimen? You know, what is just some of the things that some of your clients are saying about, I mean, because, I mean, we wear our face first.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a billboard. It's out there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if we don't,
Also a billboard.
and if we don't feel good about ourselves, it's
Right.
it damages every other part of us. So can you just share?
Yeah. Well, on here, I have a young man. I can't call him a teen anymore. He's actually in college, but he was very self-conscious because he grew up having acne, and he came in and he did a bunch of exfoliation and using hot water scrubbing. His skin was, I mean, it was damaged, just like it was bad. It was he literally burnt himself. So he was like, "Well, I need a lightening." And I was like, "Wait a minute, we have to first heal the skin." And so we actually healed the skin, and then I broke it up into a primary and secondary program. And his mom didn't believe me, but literally in 6 weeks, all the pustules, when I say pimples, were actually dried up. Then I began lightening the skin and getting it to a healthy state. And he came in one day and he had actually tried to extract a pimple.
Extract, meaning
pop, with the fingers and all that kind of stuff. And
which we shouldn't be doing.
Should not be doing, because I fuss about that. So I'm like, oh, but it looked weird. He had tried to do something to kind of cover it up. Well, his dad's a pastor, so I'm like, I don't know what happened. He's like, I don't know. Then before it was like, he said, okay, I have to be honest. He had actually picked, and I told him, I said, listen, get your fingers off your face. When that happens, I have product for that. You do not need to extract anything.
So let's just be clear, because we're trying to help people.
Okay.
So if they're having issues at home,
if you have pimples and you're trying to extract pop, then you are destroying the pore, which is pitting later. Pitting when you have those conditions, you have the scars, and you're destroying the pore. So I have been able to actually remove that and help with product and proper service, rather than using the extraction utensils that people find at the hair store, or they go to a dermatologist and somebody's just extracting it. I figured out a way that I can actually use our back bar products, and it comes out and it does not leave a scar. And so we had this one incident actually, and this is here, and he never did again. If he breaks out, he's like, he books an appointment because he doesn't want to touch his skin. Sunscreen, his mom, she said he will not go out the house.
So everyone needs, I learned that from you. Every single human needs sunscreen.
Everyone needs sunscreen. And there's a certain percentage. And with my radio show last week was about sunscreen and what's the difference between the UVA and UVB and why it was important and what it means. And I'm gonna do a blog on that. We're gonna do a blog because really, I had a guy walk in. He was like, "You said I need sunscreen." He was a listener and came in and got sunscreen. And I actually gave him the aloe mist because he had an older gentleman, really nice skin, but he needed some hydration. So I did that, and I didn't want to throw, oh, here's a cleanser, here's this, a little bit of time. He had never wore sunscreen.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, let me throw in this aloe mist because he's going to need it. And then I did the sunscreen, and he was so happy. And so I had him schedule a appointment so he could come in and I could actually analyze it and now give him more information. But he was just doing what I told him to do from my show. So, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's sun damage, there's melasma, there's dry. I mean, we did this one with microcurrent. This lady, we did our enzyme treatment, and we with radio frequency helped to start to eliminate the melasma on her face. It started lightening up.
Now I want to talk about this one up here. I'm going to hold this. I'm talking about.
Okay.
And can you just explain? So we don't think we have different damages, but I just want you to see, the difference. Can you explain?
Yes. Well, that particular guest is a member, but I treat from a distance overseas. And actually, I use just a salicylic.
Now, what's the problem with his skin?
Problem with his skin was sun damage.
Okay.
This is what the sun had done to his skin, and underneath was acne, and I could not treat the acne because he needed exfoliation so that I could actually get to the skin.
So because he's like 3 shades lighter than what he appeared.
Yes. Starting from the yellow here, this was day 1 after I applied. Day 2, 3, 4, 5, and this was a week later. I only had those few days to work with his skin. And so each day, but when he sent me the picture, I was like, oh my God, I didn't know it was going to do that.
How do people get sun damage?
Some not wearing sunscreen.
Okay.
And he's in the military, and so with him being in the military, he's exposed to sun all the time. And where he is in the environment where he's in now, there is a lot of the sun. He's closer to the sun right now. But really, it started from a job he had working at a car wash, and the chemicals had created acne buildup. And he had been suffering from that, and it was so much skin overlay, like you said. I had to first, primary, secondary, I had to exfoliate to get to the acne because nothing was penetrating. I was sending product overseas, and he was like, it's not working because it wasn't penetrating.
It wasn't getting to the...
It was not getting to the skin.
Yeah.
And so now it's doing so much better because now the products can actually penetrate and work.
Right.
So
let's talk about, just want to switch gears a little bit. For the people who, you know, when I see certain people, I'm like, their skin's perfect. You know, it's
it's clear. It looks clear.
Yeah.
And it's even.
Yeah. So do people who are saying, you know, they may say, well, I don't need to go see an esthetician. Do they ever need to come? Or, you know, if they're not having any problems or need corrective skincare, do they need what you're offering?
Yes. I mean, I'll let Pam,
can you speak?
Yeah,
well, a lot of times it's a maintenance because, again, our skin actually should be shedding because new cells should be going to the surface of the skin, and you keep that clear, maintenance-free skin. But in reality, it doesn't happen because the environment will eventually damage. And like I said, as we get older, things slow down. So usually when it comes to skin color, and I will say African Americans, someone who's rich in pigment, melanin, they tend to have more layers on we call it the stratum corneum, but it would be the top layer of the skin. And if people, I know this is an analogy you can all get, and that's ashy skin. The ash is really dead cells, and it needs to be exfoliated.
Exfoliated meaning
removed. And we keep putting lotion on every 2 hours. Oh my God, my skin's so ashy. Keep putting we're making Pond's and Johnson & Johnson rich because until you get those dead cells off, that product, the ingredients, is not penetrating the skin. It's laying on top of the dead cells.
Yeah.
So when we talk about maintenance, it is about regular exfoliation, depending on your age, depending on your issues. And the regular exfoliation will always allow you to use products that will have the ingredients needed for your skin. In darker skin tones, because we're so far away from the equator, I always think about where you originally came from. We tend to be dry, and with dryness in our skin, we have enzymes, but we need the water to activate the enzymes to help slough off the dead cells. Because that doesn't happen, that's where the buildup comes. And as long as that buildup, nothing's penetrating, and you're going to always have a dull, lifeless looking skin.
It's like you have saran wrap on your face, and you're putting lotion on everything.
And it is not going to
Yeah, right.
And you're just throwing your money away.
Yeah.
So when you come to Tiffany, you're going to not only find out your skin, the type, and that could be temporary. Dry skin is temporary. It's not like, oh yeah, my skin is so dry. Yeah, because you're not hydrating it. You're not using the right products to help hydrate and exfoliate and do whatever it is you need to do. And once you do all of those things, you're going to have the skin that glows. It's going to be even toned because of the fact that now you're wearing sunscreen. When you look at us, we were taught we did not need sunscreen.
Right.
Absolutely, years ago. But now the ozone layer is diminishing, so the rays are much deeper. And African American dark-skinned individuals are getting skin cancer. We never, it was always a Caucasian thing. And unfortunately, what's prevalent is squamous cell carcinoma, which normally doesn't metastasize. It doesn't spread.
Right.
But in our skin, it does.
Mm.
Okay? So because of that, and I think I use the example of Bob Marley, dermatologists, they don't expect to see that. As a result, they kept thinking what they saw in his toe was from a soccer lesion, and they didn't pay any attention, and it metastasized, and by the time they realized that it was cancer, it had spread all over his body. So I always tell, my clients of darker skins, a loved one, let them check your back, look at between your fingers, look at the nail, if you see a dark spot, if it's changing colors or anything that is a mole and it just looks irregular, you need to go and get it checked, because a lot of times it's on our body. We're on Caucasian skin, squamous cell is usually on the face. So we have the issues, and we need to educate ourselves so that our loved ones are safe. Absolutely. And that's something, again, we cover up. So we don't pay it any attention because we just cover up and go. So I always purport that you actually find a skincare professional, someone who's licensed, whether it is a dermatologist, someone who specializes in our skin and understands the mechanism, and from there be able, even if you just go that one time and get a consultation
and get the knowledge.
Absolutely. And then maybe now you have an informed, whatever you choose is an informed decision that you're making.
And I'm a little rebel when it comes to that too, because I mean, if you're gonna go to a professional, ask them when is the last training? What is the last? Because I don't care if you've been a dermatologist for how long, you specialize if you have not educated yourself or taken a class, and just because you have doctor in front of you, to me, doesn't tell me anything. Because I want to know what's your latest training, because I know that I have recommended clients to go and have something checked out, and they come out with a laser treatment. I'm just like, and it's messed up the skin, and they're like, I'm never going back.
Right.
So they're just quick making decisions. They come in, they look at the skin, they don't touch it.
Well, people want a quick fix too.
Yeah.
Because they're embarrassed.
Yeah.
There's especially women having unwanted hair growth on the face.
Yeah.
So we think it's a quick fix. No, we'd rather be sold a quick fix,
but they need or if it is a quick fix, you have to have someone who understands your skin.
Absolutely.
And what they're doing is going to, because I speak at laser conferences, and you should see the scarring, the hypopigment where they've removed the color because the laser was too strong and wiped off layers of skin, and now it's white like they have vitiligo. So we want the quick fix. That's a possibility, but you have to go to somebody. The other thing I'd like to bring out is that a lot of times, because African Americans, we are mixed, whether we like it or not, we're mixed. And a lot of times we have issues of a European skin, and you go to this dermatologist they don't know our skin, and they're trying to find out what that lesion is. Yeah. And the lesion is something that you're mixed with. Like, for instance, I'm African American, I'm Native American, Irish, and Jewish. So the Irish allows, my skin will burn. I could be prone to rosacea. Rosacea for doctors means you are European, you're from Germany, and you have a light or very white skin that doesn't tan. But because I am mixed with Irish, I could have rosacea. So I go to a dermatologist, and he looks at the lesion, and he's trying to figure out what it is, because he knows that she's black. She doesn't have rosacea. It looks like rosacea, but I know it's not rosacea because she's black. Yeah. So this is where we have to take responsibility and do some research when we go and visit, whether it's an esthetician or a physician. You have to find somebody that understands your skin. Yeah. And you can tell by certificates on the wall, testimonials, recommendations. Sometimes you can Google them, and you'll find out what their specialties are. And that's why when things happen, if it's not always in a positive, it's usually you have to take responsibility because you didn't do your homework.
Yeah, very good, very good. Yes. So I want to just kind of wrap this up, and you ladies have been very informative. because it's a really important issue. It's really new to me. I never heard of global skin until I came in contact with Tiffany. Tiffany, can you share with us how you plan for Del Rio to your new product line that's going to be launching soon, how you plan for it to help with global skin, and is it for everyone or is it a global skin product?
It is a global skin product. It was something needed. Actually, Del Rio is named after my grandmother, who is Dolores Del Rio, and I wanted, so it's something near and dear to my heart, but also this concept is near and dear to my heart. So it has a lot of passion behind it, and I'm going to continue to do research to even make the line like last night, we had people purchasing product, so I want their feedback so we can know what they're needing, what they're wanting, and Miss Pamela is behind that in the formulations because it is the right pH, and we have Dr. Stockton that's done the research, and so I'm part of that, and Del Rio is part of that. So it is about global skin, but it's about all skin because my goal is to add some things in it, and it will be sectioned out to fit everyone. However, there will be specifics.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I'm excited.
You do one thing for me.
Yes.
Give them your tagline. I think it's so beautiful.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yes.
The tagline is "Where Nature Meets Skin" because it is a plant-based product, and it is really something that's really great in nutrition for the skin. Because I'm all about lifestyle change and mind, body, and spirit. So it's not just about. It's everything.
Very good. So can you tell people where they can find you online?
Yes. Online, you can find me on Google Plus, or you can find me at bodywrapsalon.com or Facebook, Tiffany Lenox Miller, or Body Wrap Salon. But will be launching my personal Facebook page and Google page. And we have a new website that's coming out that will have a lot of our before and afters because there is a new website behind the scenes that's being formulated and my bio and all my training.
So bodywrapsalon.com.
Or you can reach us at 405-843-9727. And I can also do a Google Hangout training as well as a consult. We ship and do consults via if you are away and not local. So
very good. And Pamela, how can people find you?
Well, Pamela Springer, Pamela R. Springer. That's my Facebook page. globalskin-solution.com is my website. And on Facebook, I have a fan page which is Global Skin Solution. And if you really want to ask questions, you can email me at info@pamelaspringer.com.
Very good. Thank you, ladies.
No, thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. So you guys, check us out. And this has been April Franks Hunt with Women Recharged, and these women are really blazing the trail for corrective skincare and global skin. And we will see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.